Well, hi. I'm probably keep this real short. I want to read a few things that my toxic fan club has expressed. They're living in my past. They're living in distortions of my past, which is really like pathetic. Um, but that's on you, kids. That's totally on you. I'm me, and I've got, you know, I'm nobody special. I'm just a hippie among many. Who've been struggling against heavy odds for a long time. But we're the boomer nerds and geeks and that have survived, and part of a dynamic global network, and you can't do a fucking thing to disturb my position in it because people that actually read what I write rather than reading what they want into it have a lot of respect for what I write. So let me read some of the things that um, these people have written. This is just, I can't believe that. How do you hate a stranger so much over something so stupid? It could only it only mean really serious psychosexual disorders. These people are just projecting denial of some sick reality. Oh, here's Shake Rattle once, and here's a lot of blah blah, dude. This is a whole lot of blah blah. Um, this is the second pile of blah blah saying the same thing. Um, Sorry you feel that way. I'm not being histrionic, nor am I being paranoid. I'm unbothered by any of this because you're an online rando who doesn't know me at all, as proven every time you make bizarre assumptions about me. I'm literally just pointing out your hypocrisy. You make comments here indicating that you want to have discussions that you'll treat people differently based on whether they or not they treat you with respect. In my experience with you, that hasn't been true. Yes, you've insulted me. This is the second time you've made, this is 5 paragraphs of this. I don't move the goalposts here, Yes, Tommy, I can have refuted some of your points. I've also agreed with a few. For example, I agree that Sean King is a grifter wannabe. I agree that the concept of morality can be subjective. However, you make it impossible to refute a lot of your points because you don't seem open to new and different ideas. New and different ideas need to be rationally presented and supported. An opinion without data, I mean, facts without data is just an opinion. And this is what these people are bringing to me. Uh, all this anything anti-trans, anybody's bringing, science says you're wrong. The law says you're wrong. Given that options vary so widely within the trans community itself, this is true. And given that peer-reviewed studies are still being performed, this is also true. Isn't it possible that a grain of truth may be present in a lot of different ideas, even the ones you disagree with, like ROTD, which has been like peer-reviewed into like the dustbin, and ATP? You're beating an old horse that's been peer-reviewed into the garbage can. I've been on top of some of your friends, trans people disagree with each other. I'm non-operative, and I'm full inclusion. Um, and transsexuals are highly um, disagreeable toward me and my opinions about things. This is how I was born, almost. They messed with something when I was little that really messed me up, whether you want to believe that or not. Um, You can accuse me of this is just 5 paragraphs of blah blah whoop whoop, man. Show me something that you show me something real. Show me something real. Here, this is just dumb. That's not even worth reading. You know, here's this person. I'm just gonna read it and try not to comment. Notice how angry I am now. This is just pathetic. It's like automatic. No, you're a liar, and this is what's real. The statement, you know, when I first came out, people recognized my backstory and said, "Hey, you're probably intersex," and my doctors did confirm it. So go pound on something more real than joining in the character assassination of innocent artists. You fascist, fucking closeted faggot in denial. I forget which one of those people I was, you know, and you know, excuse me, hardly anybody ever even called me Thomas. That was the name on my birth certificate. It no longer is my legal name. The people who love me always call me Tommy. And anybody who insisted on calling you Thomas in capital letters and red, something's wrong with you, dear. See, this is a new lie you presented. On top of the other lies you presented, it has objective evidence for being intersex, Thomas. Once again, you did not respond to anything anyone is posting of your lies with hard evidence that proves your case. You're not intersex. You never will be intersex, and I doubt you've met even one intersex person, much less an entire group of genetically deficient people who ushered you into a diagnosis. We have plenty of photos of you throughout your life, Thomas, and needless to say, you've always looked like an ugly man. You're not intersex. You're not a woman. There's no such thing as a brain hormone panel. There's no evidence to support gender variance in sons with DES because all fetuses are exposed to huge amounts of estrogen in the womb. That's natural estrogen. A double inguinal hernia doesn't make you intersex. You're nothing but a bald, heroin, crystal meth, crack addict rapist. I would tell you to sit on a pile of dicks, but the only person who would stick your dick inside your filthy, unwashed male anus is Jacob Sockness. So let's see, she's got some more. Hey, Thomas is gay. How many babies did he fuck today? And here's how Tom actually lives. Well, that was a few years ago. There's just so much like. Oh, here's another. This one. Here's a bowl of word salad from Uncle Buck. You can you don't seem to understand what any of those terms mean. You still fall under the this is tragic Chan clown. You still fall under the trans label if you don't intend to have surgery. You cannot be both non-binary and a woman. I don't claim to be a woman. I claim to be a feminine person that doesn't want to be addressed as a man. And most people in today's polite culture, where there's no stigma for being queer, most people are like, okay, cool, sister. But you people have to like express your own self-loathing outwardly as all this transphobic bullshit. You can when those terms have no real solid definition, even within the framework of the junk of science of gender is understood by persons such as Thomas J. Wasserberg. My name is Tommy Jane Wasserberg. Obviously, Wikipedia is no legitimate authority on anything, but it's the sort of reference pointed to by falsely called intellectuals, mental defectives, and substance-addicted subhumanoids such as are genetically challenged bred in Arizona. And you need only read into the second sentence of their article on non-binary identity, the first of which states that it means I'm neither male nor female, only to include people who identify as gender opposite to the one they were assigned. That's pretty confused, Fran. Oh, and try to ignore the fact that assign carries the connotation that someone made a decision as to what gender to assign a child at conception, no, was at birth. Biomechanics being the only true God, the process is entirely random. That's thrown in there to cast aspersion on men generally and fathers specifically, as is the father passed along the Y chromosome, not by choice, of course, and who determines the gender of the child. There's a lot of blah, blah, blah. So when words / terms can mean whatever you want them to mean, I don't say that I don't drink. So when words terms can mean whatever you want them to mean, even the exact opposite of what they truly mean, depending on the circumstances, reality can be whatever you want it to be, whenever you want, as this fellow is like expressing so pedantically. And anyone who disagrees with you always be wrong. And in the mind of the most extreme mental detective is always be an enemy to be destroyed or exiled to Mars or whatever. It's how Thomas can say, I don't drink. But I don't say that I don't drink. I say I don't drink very much. And to say that I don't drink would be a lie. But to say that I drink more than just a little bit is like numerous instances on his live stream. I don't usually have alcohol in that mug. No, speaking of always having liquor on hand, no, I don't even have any right now. A little bit of cooking wine, and that's it. The degenerate freak left in these United States and the larger Western world has, over the past 5-10 years, gotten very good at so diluting the definition of so many words that they have no meaning whatsoever. That cuts the heart of the delusional cultic ideology. I swear, if this came off the top of this guy's head, nah, this is some cut and paste. Yeah, this is some cut and paste shit. If it isn't. That cuts the heart. If there's no structure or meaning to anything, then truly anything goes. And how dare anyone express any disapproval whatsoever? Direct strike. Yeah, this is cut and paste shit. That's just fucking cut and paste garbage. Oh, this is his. On the marginally related note, the preceding also enables Thomas, also in red, but this one not in caps, who in all actuality is not a female of any imaginary sort, be it transsexual, transgender, intersex, two-spirited, and etc., but an ugly, uncouth, uncultured, foul-mouthed, foul-minded, sissified cross-dressing, but not at all feminine, and not even particularly effeminate homosexual, to express bigotry of all manner towards homosexuals at all, as aptly pointed out above by anti-Schwulette action. This is a homophobic fucktard. Yes, Schwulette is queer. You know, that wasn't even the good shit. There was. Let me get to the good shit. They went wild in the general thread. I'm still at it. Ooh, and Anonymous is really pissed today. Pedophiles lie a lot are actually actively delusional. For instance, check out the movie Chicken Hawk, a documentary about homosexual pedophiles. They get footage of these guys perving on kids and giving a narrative which has nothing to do with the perverted shit you just saw with your own eyes. You could really just assume the worst of any of this child molester's wild tales. The bad stuff is probably true. It's pretty amazing to watch this moron repeatedly admit to molesting a child and somehow thinking that it's okay to anyone at all and that he has any reputation to defend after being a child molester, the most despised and loathed of all classes of criminals. Get it through your fucking head that most people do not see that event as child molestation. End of discussion. They missed my spleen. This should be interesting. The pig woman in God, these people are stupid. Here's F. Murray Abraham. I asked the question of these fools. How many times you need to be told that you can't see most of my life? You ridiculous, high-minded, hypocritical, angry, adult, autistic assholes who believe a lot of really stupid things about me and the way real life works. If that is all you can see of me, you're declaring to the world that you're incredibly gullible idiots. Most people don't give a crap about such inconsequential things that happened so long ago. You really need to be asking yourselves why this is so important to you and the people urging you on. And here's this F. Murray Abraham clown. This is an absolute lie. You're stating we can't see your private conversations on Facebook. That's not a life, that's the lack of one. Well, thinking that that's all it's about is pretty stupid. I have live conversations with a number of people. I have 30 or 40 friends locally that I see live and in person that, you don't know what you're talking about. Googling shit for other boomers gives you purpose. You'd be surprised how much people appreciate the information that I'm able to provide them. If no one cares about you and your bullshit is inconsequential, then stop coming to the fucking farms and go live this magical life you lead, you fucking crybaby. I do live it. Stop thinking that you're doing much besides like giving me a diversion that's like instead of watching The Simpsons or something. I want to see what this, it's, hello. I want to see what this crazy woman's like trying to say this time.
In spite of the fact that it was being done in such a gentle way.
What is the fantasy? What the thoughts come into your
Oh,
mind
yes.
in such a time?
Curiously, the most powerful feelings that are evoked are religious feelings. I want to sing praises to the Almighty for having created anything so beautiful, so spectacularly wonderful. This is what is going on in me.
Anthony sat down next to me, and Leland was sitting there staring at Anthony. And that gave me the creeps.
Yeah,
He
this
was
is
just
bullshit.
staring, looking
It's
at
just
him.
not, it's just like these people have this vision of me that because I admit to 40 years ago accepting the invitation of a minor into a bed she was already in with my partner at the moment, after living with a man for a year before she came to us, and who went on to get a college degree and marry a guy and have kids and a career and was never harmed by this, but this is like some of these people are demanding a death penalty for that. It's like, excuse me, and you can see how these people rage about it. And every time I post, no matter where I post on this site, no matter what I post about, somebody has to come screaming at me about being this like monstrous sexual predator, which is like just nonsense. It's total nonsense. They're reading all this garbage into my life that just isn't there and hasn't ever been. And you know, they're exaggerating something that was inconsequential. And fuck the dumb shit already. Yeah, this anonymous asshole. You know, it's oh here's Tragic Chan. It's like, you know, his response to the question is because it's funny. This is the claim of Audio and Beast too. Um, and there's nothing funny about bearing false witness against somebody that's so insightful. And somebody who finds that funny has got some real serious mental deficiencies. Ha! Here's you know this is a Drew. This is a you know British young full of himself. Um, yeah, I could give a fuck. You know, look, man. There's no reason to prove myself to you. You're a child living in a virtual reality who thinks it's funny to dump on people. Ollie, fuck off. This is a waste of time, waste of energy, and good day. See, this 20 minutes of garbage. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be reading that. But yeah, why? First of all, you know, I have friends who insist that may not be included or mentioned ever in the camera for these people's consumption. And really, if you're paying attention to um, what's really going on Facebook, you'd see that there's a lot more. Now, first of all, I don't. I never had a lot of friends. All right, and most of my friends are, all of my friends are pretty weird. And it's okay because I'm a capable artist. I'm globally recognized for what I do in terms of music and humor and good history. I mean, I write a good history and write up current events pretty well. And I have a fair amount of respect for it in the international human rights community. And I have a lot of local friends that I see here and there and everywhere that, you know, when we talk online, we're talking about doing something somewhere, which is what's going to happen shortly. Is I'm out of here. It's Saturday night. I got new flutes. They're bamboo, and they're not real well made. I'm not real pleased with them. I think this is the one that played best. This one just barely blows. Kind of funky. This one isn't 90. This one didn't blow very well at all. Well, maybe not. Nah. The big one was the one that didn't play. Well, maybe now it wants to. Oh, that's why. That's not burned right. It needs a little bit of work on the blowhole. It's drilled straight down. It needs to be. Probably all like this. I just got lucky with the other ones. Yeah. That's drilled straight. So is that. I can fix these. Yeah, they're all drilled straight. They're on a bamboo on the transverse flute like this, the pipe, whatever you could call it. The holes, there's a little notch, smooth little notch cut across the blowhole that way to start the air moving through the flute. I'll get in there with a little bit with a file and open it up a little bit. So anyway, I'm none of those things. You're telling lies about me, children. I'm weird. I'm not very hygienic, but I'm a hippie. I'm a hippie artist. And I'm good at what I do. Excuse me, I'm real good at what I do. People love my music, and people love my stonework. They love my the medicine that I assemble. It's not just stone. I deal in natural material, and animal parts and incenses and stuff. And I'm good at what I do. I really am a Gerson like Cohen, and I really have been trained in earth medicine thoroughly by numerous people of numerous nations, numerous disciplines, starting with Western medicine. So I'm 67 years old. You people are attacking me for the wrong reasons, and you're making fools of yourselves. I'm through getting angry about it. I feel sorry for you. Thanks for watching. Happy day. Bye.